Good morning, everyone. This is Nicole Traum here with Lee Health's Healthcare Heroes Self-Care Moment. And this week is a new week, so every week we have a different theme. And this week is about finding peace. And I think it's totally appropriate that I woke up feeling anxious and off and a little weird, and like that pit in my stomach is back this week. So that's just kind of part of going through this uncertain times. And typically, I think when we think of creating peace or being peaceful, sometimes we think that means we become more passive and we're just wishy-washy. And the thing is that when we move towards peace, we start to kind of move towards those uncomfortable things. And we get comfortable with that feeling of anxiety. We get comfortable with that feeling of unknowing and find ways to make peace with our mind especially. And so we're going to focus on that today. We're going to do some stretching into the lower body and the low back. I've had a lot of people tell me that their low back's been bothering them, probably from sitting a lot. And I know a lot of people are doing a lot more walking. So you do want to be mindful that you're stretching before and after that too, or if you're running. But let's just start here by turning within. And this is the thing, sometimes even just sitting and turning within can make us feel like not at peace with ourselves. So know that sometimes when we turn within, it is, it's not just like you close your eyes and it's like magical unicorns and everything's perfect, right? And that goes for me too. Like this quarantine, my meditation has been really rough. There are some mornings where I sit there and I'm just like fidgety and out of sorts. And I don't want you to think that just because, I meditate or someone meditates that they just like close their eyes and they're like, oh, I'm on top of the mountain. Because that's not really how it works. In fact, when we turn within, it does bring up all those kind of rough edges. And the practice is in being able to kind of work through and create peace with those rough edges. All right. So as you sit tall, you can close your eyes for a second. Just take a couple deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Allow yourself here to notice what you've got going on this morning. How you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling really good. Maybe you're feeling a little anxious. Maybe you're just feeling tired. All these things, it's just part of what we can observe. There's no wrong or right. Start to feel your inner body filling up here as you inhale. And then let your outer body soften with your exhale. Let those shoulders move back. Feel your spine as it lengthens. Give yourself a little space to just be. Maybe you got out a little bit more this weekend. Maybe that makes you feel unsettled as well. So we work with what we have. So that's why it's important in the beginning to just observe. So notice whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking. Notice the quality of your breath. Is it easy or is it difficult? And then from there, we can start to attend to what we've got. There's a quote by Rumi that says, if you're irritated by every rub, then how will you ever be smooth? How will you ever smooth it out? That's a paraphrase there. But we have these rough edges. We have these rough experiences. And our practice is to slowly help to smooth them out, right? And that doesn't mean that the process is easy. Let's move with some big circles now. Just moving around, feeling your hips starting to release. Continuing with your breath. So just noticing that inhale filling you up. The exhale emptying you out. Maybe even feel your shoulders move onto your back. Good. And then change your direction. Same thing here. Just feeling your hips start to release down. Maybe let that breath go a little bit deeper, a little bit fuller. And then as you come back up through center now, inhale, just roll your shoulders onto your back and exhale and round forward. And sometimes just the movement of our body can help us to feel a little bit more peaceful. And we start to get We were talking about that oxytocin, right? When we gave ourselves a hug last week, even our movement, right? Because our muscles are hugging in and they're releasing. It starts to release those kind of feel good hormones, the adrenaline hormone, so that we can start to feel a little bit better in our skin. All right, take your right hand down and just stretch your left arm up. Press your left hip down. Good, keep breathing here. I'm gonna scoot back a little bit. And then we're gonna take that left arm up, right? And then exhale, bring it forward and across. So you can inhale and open your chest, lean back. Exhale and reach across. Think about your breath going in smoothly, emptying out smoothly. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more like that. Good. This time as you come forward, you're just going to reach and reach. So just kind of reaching across, feeling that stretch all the way up through your back body. Good. And then come on out. Roll your shoulders onto your back. And let's do the other side. So first bring your your left elbow down, right arm up, and stretch up through your side body. Press down through your right hip. Breathe a little bit deeper. Create some space. Good. All right, and then big inhale here. Stretch that arm up into the right, and then exhale it across into the left. So just reaching up, big inhale, and then big exhale. Perfect. Inhale and exhale. Feel your back body stretching. Feel the front quarter, the chest opening. Inhale and exhale 1 more time, and then what we'll do is we're going to hold it there and just reach and reach. Reach and reach. Think about smoothing out those edges as you breathe, creating a little bit of harmony. Harmony and peace, right? They go together. And then come on out and just move your head. You can go to one ear and then the other. Good. And then if you want, you can go all the way around. There's a lot of crackles in my neck today. Maybe there are in yours too. And then move around in the other direction. Just kind of feeling your shoulders release away from your ears. Maybe check in with your breath again. Notice if it can go a little deeper, if it can be a little smoother. And then just roll your shoulders onto your back. We're gonna get a little bit more stretching in for our legs now. So I'm gonna come up to standing. You can stand behind your chair or use your hands on a table. I'm just gonna bring my hands right here. And we're gonna start by crossing the right leg over the left. And it's nice to have this chair here so that you can use it to hold on to, and you can squeeze your legs in. Now you might just bring your head down to the chair, or if you're like me, you might be able to go all the way to the floor. But here, your legs are crossed. You can even bring your elbows on here and just let yourself breathe. As you let your head release down, squeeze your legs in. Feel the back of the legs stretching. Good. And then take 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then before you come on up, come on out first. Uncross the legs, and then we'll switch left leg over right, or whichever one you didn't do before, right? So you can come onto your elbows here, or maybe you can reach down towards the floor, or maybe like halfway to the floor, and just feel yourself stretch. As you inhale, squeeze those legs in. As you exhale, let yourself pour over the top of your legs. Take 2 more deep breaths. This one always feels good. Releasing those hips. Good. Walk yourself up gently, slowly. All right, now, this next one, right leg will be forward a little, left leg back. And this is where you can use your chair. So you're gonna inhale, legs stay straight, hips reach back, exhale and hinge forward. Inhale and exhale. It's gonna be tempting to bend your legs. Try and keep them straight here. Let's do 2 more. Good. And this is nice to use the side of the chair or the seat of the chair here. And then last one. You can stay there for a breath or 2, let your head release, or even rest your head on your chair. That's a nice way to do it. And then we'll come all the way out and switch sides. So now you'll bring that left leg forward, your right leg back. So it's a short stance. It's not like a lunge. It's like a half lunge or 3/4 of a lunge. Legs are straight, your hips reach back. Inhale and stand tall. And then exhale, just hinge forward. You're gonna feel it all the way down through your seat, into the back of your legs. Just inhaling and exhaling. Let's do a few more rounds like that. Inhale and exhale. Lifting and releasing. Good. This next one, you can linger there. Okay, so just coming up, you can rest with your elbows on the chair, or you can even let your head hang low. Think about reaching your thighs back, stretching your legs, breathing into the back of your thighs. Take another deep breath. Good, and then come all the way up, and then we'll do one forward bend here, and I do like to do the forward bend facing the chair, so you can actually face the seat of your chair and just bring your head down towards it. Releasing. If you want to touch the floor, you can, right? If you can't touch the floor though, the seat of the chair is really good. And then try and give yourself a little baby bend to your knees. So they're not totally bent, but they're not locked. And then just rock side to side. Feel your low back stretching here. Good. Let's take another deep breath. So if you can't touch the floor, your hands can come to your knees or to your chair. And then we're going to roll ourselves on up. I'll pull my chair back a little, and then we'll come right back into our seat. And then I did have a little something to share. So I shared Pema children. I shared the places that scare you. I think it's over there somewhere. Early on in the series of videos. And so this is another one by her, When Things Fall Apart. And I had listened to a podcast the other day and they were talking about it. And I was like, gosh, I need to reread that. So I'd given away my copy. So I just got a new copy. And this is a good thing to read this time of our lives, this season of the world. And she talks just about what do we do when they fall apart? We have to face that fear. We have to kind of find a way of maintaining some peace in some way. So I'm just going to read a short section of it. Here it is. When we began our exploration, and she's talking about our exploration of meditation, okay? When we begin our exploration, we have all kinds of ideals and expectations. We are looking for answers that will satisfy a hunger that we felt for a long time. I feel like right now it's brought up that hunger in a really deep sense, right? We want something that's going to help us. But the last thing we want is a further introduction to the boogeyman. Of course, people will try to warn us. I remember the first time I received meditation instruction, the woman told me the technique and the guidelines on how to practice and then said, but don't go away from here thinking that meditation is a vacation from irritation. Somehow all the warnings in the world don't quite convince us. In fact, they draw us closer. So just thinking about that idea of when we turn within and when we start to meditate or we start to become more mindful, it's not this instant magic pill that makes everything better. It is, in fact, sometimes we get more irritated, but we start to become more aware, right? So that practicing peace, that finding peace is a practice of just getting comfortable with ourselves. So as we sit today, you might sit and feel like, God, this is uncomfortable. This seat is uncomfortable. I don't like what shirt I'm wearing. Oh, all these things, it's part of it, right? So let yourself breathe in it. Let yourself be okay with it and just observe it, okay? So that's part of the practice. Some days you go in and you're like, oh, I needed this. And other days it's, a litany of things going through your head. So allow yourself that space to know that it won't be perfect. All right, close your eyes, sit up nice and tall. Think of yourself, I had a rock tumbler growing up. Maybe some of you guys had a rock tumbler. Think of yourself as one of those raw, crystal-y rocks. Right? And if you put it in this rock tumbler, what we did was we got all these rough rocks and they came in the rock tumbler. And what happens is they would spin around and they would just tumble them. And my parents hated it. We ended up hiding it in the basement. I think it's still there in my mom's house. But the idea is that when they rub against each other, the friction, the constant moving, what happens is over time, they start to smooth out. The edges start to smooth, right? So we can fight it and we can say, no, I really want these edges to stay here. But eventually, with practice, we start to smooth things out. So think about that as you turn within. Close your eyes. Sit up nice and tall. And you can imagine, maybe you're feeling really, really rough around the edges today. And just allow your breath to start to slowly smooth things out. Breathing in all that tough stuff that's heavy on your heart. And breathing out peace and harmony and love, sending it out. Just inhaling and exhaling. Allowing yourself to just start to notice things, start to listen. Listen for any sounds. Notice if they're far or if they're near. Start to feel the sensation of the air on your skin, the clothing on your body, the way the seat or the floor feels underneath you. If your feet are on the ground, feel your feet gently softening into the earth. If you're sitting cross-legged, feel your seat, feel your legs just being held. And if you can, if you have a chair with a back, lean back a little and just feel that sensation, that support. Notice your breath now. Notice the sound of your breath. The sensation of your breath. Notice the coolness of your inhale and the warmth of your exhale. And then feel your edges just slowly start to soften, just a little, to smooth. Allowing yourself the time and the space to just get familiar. Familiar with some stillness, with your own mind, your own heart. Even familiar with your own breath. And as irritation comes up, as distraction comes up, know that that's part of the practice. Let's take another deep breath together. And then you can start to bring some movement to your fingers, to your toes. Maybe take a stretch here, reaching your arms up and overhead, moving your head side to side. Let out a yawn or two. And then come on back and just bring your hands back in front of your heart. Let's take a moment to pause, to turn back within. Let your shoulders move onto your back. Feel your jaw release. Do we honor this practice of making peace with ourselves? I think that's the best way to put it. So we might remain open to that process, however it might manifest over the next weeks and days and maybe even our whole lifetime. We close today bowing to each other. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Nicole Traum for Lee Health's Healthcare Heroes Self-Care Moment. And we'll be back tomorrow at 6:40 a.m. Please feel free to leave a comment on here or to especially share this with your friends. So you can, it'll be posted after this and you can share it on Facebook or anywhere else. All right? Thanks so much. Bye.